Hello everybody, I hope you are all doing fine whenever you are watching this video from. Okay, so we have a question on the board, and this question is from functions. And in this question, there are basically two functions. We have the function of f and the function of g. And in the questions, they're asking us to find the inverse function of x. We call this inverse function because of a power negative 1. It is the one which is making us inverse function. Question B, they are saying we should find the inverse function of 5. And question C, f of g of x, which is a composite function. So we can see that question A and B, they rely on each other. I mean, for you to find B, you have first to find A. The answer for question A we're going to be used to find the answer for question B. So let us start solving with question A so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have question A. They have asked us to find the inverse function of x. So it is this function that we're going to get because this is f and this is f. If it was g, we would have gotten this one. So the inverse function of x is equal to 3x minus a 5 over a 2. So at this stage, what we are going to do, we are going to replace this inverse function sign with any letter of your choice. You replace with any letter of your choice apart from x, because x has already been used here. So in my case, I'm going to use y. So I'm going to say y is equal to 3x minus a 5 over a 2. At this stage now, our main target will be to make x the subject of the formula, or you make x stand alone with a value of 1. So how are we going to make x the subject of the formula, or how are we going to make x stand alone? So we can see that this is a fraction, and it will be very difficult for us to make x the subject of the formula because this is a fraction. So we will have to make this in a linear form so that the other one can cross the equal sign and make x the subject of the formula. So because this is a fraction, we are going to balance here. We are also going to say over a 1. So that this side also, it should be a fraction so that we can do a multiplication. So 1 multiplied by everything that is in here, we are just going to get the same expression. So we have a 3x minus a 5 is equal to y multiplied by a 2. It is a 2y. So we can see now, at this point now, we can make 5, negative 5, cross the equal sign. So we are going to have 3x will be equal to 2y. Because this is a negative sign, after crossing the equal sign, it will be a positive 5. So we can see now that for us to make x stand alone, we are going just to say over a 3, and here also over a 3, so that 3 and 3 can cancel. After that, we are going to have x is equal to 2y plus a 5 over a 3. So we have managed to make x the subject of the formula. After that now, we are almost done. All what we need to do is to replace here. You remember we have f inverse of x. We replace it with a letter y. So now we are going to bring it back. Now we are going to say inverse function of x is equal to a 2. Now where there is y, we are going to bring back the letter x. We are going to remove the letter of our choice and put the original letter. So we are going to say 2x plus a5 over a3. So this is the inverse function of this function, or this is the opposite of this function. So if you want to see if you have find the correct answer, what you can do is just find the inverse function of this answer. Get it, follow the same process, find the inverse function. You are going to discover that it will going to take you to this. This one will be your answer. So this is a question, but if you solve the inverse function of this, it will give you this. It means you have found the correct answer. We go to question B. So question B, they have asked us to find the inverse function of a 5. So I've already told you that question B depends on the answer from question A. So the f inverse of 5 is equal to, we are going to get the function of f the way it is and replace where there is x with a 5. So we are going to say is equal to 2x plus a 5 over a 3. So what we are going to do now is to substitute where there is x with a 5. So we are going to say is equal to 2 open brackets plus a 5, this plus 5. So where there's the x, we are going to replace with a 5, like this, over a 3. So I think I can just lab this part so that we create a space. Okay, so we are going to have f inverse of 5 will be equal to 2 multiplied by a 5, it is 10. It is 10 plus a 5 over a 3. So you are going to find that 10 plus 5, it is equal to 15 over a 3. Then finally 3 into 15 is equal to a 5. So the inverse of 5, the answer is equal to a 5. So we go to the last one, the composite function. So I think I can also lab. I hope you have followed. Okay. So question C, they have asked us to find the f of g of x. So these are what we call composite functions. So what do they mean by composite function? They mean this is a combination of two functions. The combination of this function and this function. So you can see that f of g, f is at the beginning and g, it is the second letter. So this is telling us that f of x, this function will swallow g of x. So this function will be swallowed into this function. So how is that swallowing going to be done? We are going to say is equal to 3. Where there is x, we feed g. So we are going to open the bracket like this. So this one will be equal to, I think I can just rub within this so that we don't get confused. Okay. Sorry, here we are supposed to put minus a 5. So you can see that over a 2. So this is f of x. Then where there is x, we will replace with G. So we are going to take this and put it here. So we are going to say x plus a 2. So once you have done this, it means you are almost done, because you are just going to say 3 multiplied by x, it will be 3x plus 3 multiplied by a 2, it is a 6 minus a 5 over a 2. Then after that, we are just going to do a simple multiplication. We are going to say 3x, then we are going to say 6 minus a 5, it is 1. So plus a 1 over a 2. It means you are done. So you can see that this question was very simple. Yeah, it came in 2023 GCE paper 1, and this was question 15. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.